Hello and welcome to NXTGEN Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to iRacing, and welcome back to NXTGEN Racing, live on Facebook and live on YouTube. We've got a nice little pre-season shakedown to show you today, and we're here at Watkins Glen circuit in New York State, America. We're here for a brand new season of NXTGEN Racing GT3 action, and this is what we've got coming up for you over the next 11 weeks. It is the NXTGEN Racing GT3 Season 7, as we mentioned, hosted by NXTGEN Racing, the home of sim racing. My name is Alex Everett. I'll be your commentator throughout the entire season. Okay, so the partners and sponsors help put on the racing for NXTGEN Racing, and they are PowerMax Racing, Mark Sykes Design, Benji Sim Photos, Motorsport UK Esports Division, Sam Racing, Joyce Design. Good time for referees. Okay, might have had a little drop out there, but I think we're back. Joyce Design, after Moser Racing, Falconer PC builds and support are our sponsors and partners for this series. If you want to get involved in Next Gen Racing as a driver, however, you can scan the QR code on the lower left of our screen there, and that will give you access to Next Gen Racing Discord server. From there, you can communicate with the drivers, with the admins, and get involved in the series. You need an iRacing subscription, of course, and you need something to drive with. Wheel, pedals, keyboard if you must. Okay, apologies for the delays there, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so we'll try and press on here. We have got a little bit of action for you tonight. We have got a short qualifying session of 20 minutes to start on the hour, and then that will start in 10 minutes. And of course, once that 20 minutes qualifying is over, we'll be going straight into a sprint race. That'll be all we'll have tonight, is just the 20-minute sprint race, because tonight is pre-season. It is not an official round. But next week we will be starting straight back with the action. And this is our calendar for the season. We start off next week on the 20th of March, and we'll be starting off at Misano World Circuit in Italy. Now, I've never actually commentated or even raced there, so that's a little bit of an unknowing for myself, but also potentially the drivers. It's a fairly recent track on iRacing, and looking forward to that opening the season. Round 2 will be back where we are today at Watkins Glen with no chicane, which I believe is the GP circuit without the little bus stop chicane, which is my preferred layout of Watkins Glen. Then we have got the first of 3 endurance rounds of the season. You'll notice with the graphic there, we have got a star and yellow text, or gold text, which signals that this is a 2-hour endurance race. So that's the only race that will be that night on these endurance rounds, a 2-hour endurance. Over previous seasons, they've been absolutely thrilling races and have conjured up some great drama over the seasons. So looking forward to that, and the first of 3 will be at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve, otherwise known as Montreal in Canada. We've got Donington Park, round 4 of the season after that, and then Circuit Zandvoort, which has been updated on iRacing, and that will see us out of the first half of the season. Round 6 will be at Bathurst, and that will be the second of 3 endurance rounds of the season. Of course, a iconic circuit is Bathurst for endurance racing. Hosts the Bathurst 12 hours, of course, every year, which has just been and gone. So looking forward to round 6 indeed. Algarve International, also known as Portimao, will host round 7 of the championship. It was a round in season 5. I do remember it fondly. It was a very good round as well. So looking forward to that very much. Silverstone GP for round number 8. And then the penultimate round of the season, but the final sprint and feature race format of the season will be round 9 at Canadian Tire, also known as Mosport. We've got Le Mans, round 10 of the championship, to see us out of the season, and, well, one of my favourite tracks, as we know, if you're a fan of the GT3 season. I bang on about it quite a lot, but Le Mans will end the season as an endurance round of 2 hours. These are the cars they'll be racing. Of course, it's GT3 Racing, quite a popular brand of cars in iRacing, and in real life racing has really seen a surge in popularity over the last 10-15 years. The cars that the drivers can choose from, 10 in total. They are the Acura NSX, which is the most recent installment of GT3 cars to iRacing. And then there's also the Audi R8 Evo 2, the BMW M4, the Chevrolet Corvette, the Ferrari 296, the Ford Mustang, the Lamborghini Huracan, the McLaren 720S, the Mercedes AMG, and the Porsche 911. Okay, So, that is the majority of the housekeeping over and done with, and we've got some live action out on the track at the moment. Like I said, we're going to have the qualifying session, and we're going to have a sprint race, and that will see us out tonight. It gives us a chance tonight to iron out the creases, I suppose. We've had a few already on the stream, as you'd probably noticed, undoubtedly. But, yeah, we're going to have a look at the grid of drivers that are here in the server. Not all of them are here tonight because this is just a pre-season unofficial round. Drivers don't actually have to attend this round. There have been some preliminary qualifying sessions to help evaluate what class the drivers need to go in. And to be honest, a lot of the drivers would have probably been decided already because a lot of them took part last season. But let's take a look at some of the returning faces to this season. We'll go straight to a driver that's on the track at the moment because our gold champion's not on the track at the moment. But we'll start with our outgoing silver champion. Promoted to gold category this season, South Africa based driver Kyle Oosthuizen is in third position right now. That's in class and overall. Now promoted to gold category due to winning in the silver category last season. He was dominant last season. He had a few rounds where it was looking a little bit shaky, but it was more so luck on his part and bad at that. But Kyle was dominant last season in the silver category, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing how he'll do in the gold category this season. He very much got his elbows out last season with the gold drivers, definitely towards the end of the season as well. So I think he'll do okay. Okay, we haven't got our outgoing bronze champion in the server right now. Just running down the list, and we don't. But Elwyn Sykes has signed up for this season, so we'll see him in the silver category this season. So we'll look out for him as well. We have also got the gold champion. He's in the pits at the moment, so he's having a quick cigarette break maybe. But yeah, Benjamin McCluskey. Just like Kyle, a real dominant season last season in the gold category. Realistically, it was from round one, you just knew he was going to do it. He was really, really a force to be reckoned with last season. He has the number one on his door, but he has had a change of car as well. And that's something else I'm really taking note of here, is a lot of the drivers in the grid here have switched over to other cars, and a lot of them, well, there's a few cars that are very popular amongst this crop here. But Ben McCluskey, he has switched over to the Mustang. Last season he was driving the Ferrari, and this season he has switched over to the Mustang. Now there's actually quite a few drivers. You'll notice on the timing tower to the left, there's quite a few drivers opting for the Mustang tonight, and potentially for the season ahead. And also there's a lot of Porsche drivers out there. And there was a time a while ago where the Porsche was the outright best GT3 car. And it wasn't for a little while, particularly last season. And then, well, it seems to have come back around this time. And we have just gone through a little bit of an update on iRacing as well, which means the balance of performance gets a little bit shaken up as well. So there's all those things that the drivers are considering. But also the Porsche is a very good looking car as well. And also added to that, it handles very well as well. So I imagine a lot of those factors play into why it is being picked majoritively by the drivers in the fields. We have three categories in this championship, if you are unaware of the format that kind of works in NXTGEN Racing GT3 Racing. And we have the gold category, the silver category, and the bronze category. Gold category, well, you probably guessed, but it is the top third of drivers in the field usually. The middle third often go into the silver category, and typically the lesser experienced drivers will go into the bronze category. There's other things that get considered in putting drivers into categories. iRating has a little bit of a factor into it as well. I mean, if you've got a iRating of, I would say, around about 3,000 to 4,000, you're probably going to get put into the gold category. And if you're around the 1,000 to 1,500 range, that typically tends to be the drivers in bronze category. Just to give you an idea of the level of skill relative to the officials on iRacing. So we got 2 minutes left in practice here. They're going to have a qualifying session, and there are drivers who are going to be out there still trying to put down some preliminary qualification times, and that means it determines their category for the season. I think there's one driver out there who hasn't actually got the category from what I've seen, but the rest of them do have a lot of categories pre-decided already, and of course they are subject to change at any point between now and next week. But we've got a rough idea tonight of what we've got. We should see some interesting racing tonight as well. It's a cracking track to race on, is Watkins Glen. Hosts the 6 Hours Watkins Glen as part of the IMSA series every year in May, and it's quite a favourite of mine to take part in on iRacing as well. And it's around in this season as well, don't forget. It is the second round of the season, so we're back here 2 weeks from today. And the way it kind of goes with these races, ladies and gentlemen, we'll just go back to this graphic that was a little bit cut off earlier. But on most nights of Next Gen Racing... There we go. Again, I got a feeling it's those images. It's whenever I seem to show them up. But we'll avoid them. It seems to be alright when we are not using those images. We'll carry on. Apologies for that. It'll be sorted for next week, ladies and gentlemen, rest assured. But we're going into qualifying now. And like I said, this is an unofficial session, but we are going to get a very good idea of the pace of these drivers in this session. Now, if you watched last season, you'll get a very good idea of who is where within the field. But who knows, between last season and this season, it was quite a long time, about 3 months. You know, we might see some drivers leap forward. Who knows? There's our champion, leading his way out. Let's see how he gets on tonight. New car for him, a new season, and a number 1 on his door to add pressure to that. Ben McCluskey heads out for qualifying here. A couple of drivers going through the chicane, as a joke there by the looks of it in the background. Why not? But yeah, pre-season round, which means drivers are not really going to take this hugely seriously, and potentially we might see some sandbagging. Who knows? We might see some drivers ease off to kind of lure their competitors into a false sense of security. We might see drivers absolutely go for it to know where they stand. We don't know. So we'll get an onboard lap with our outgoing champion of Watkins Glen, and then we'll go through a little bit more of what's new this season. So here we go, for the final couple of corners here at Watkins Glen, and we're going to start a lap here of Watkins Glen. Round the final corner we go, and we'll head down the main straight here towards the first corner, which is the 90. It's downhill braking, very tricky for any car on this circuit. Blend the car into the corner. You can take a little bit of off-road there, and then into the S's, flat out up this steep hill, right, then left, and then right again, flat out onto the back straight, and these cars will get up to some very high speed in 6th gear. Let's see if we can max the revs. No, we're not going to quite get there, so there is headroom for these cars even on this long straight. Into the outer loop, one of my favourite corners on iRacing. 4th gear, 90 degrees on the steering wheel there for Ben McCluskey. Nice and wide there, heading out of the corner, and then downhill braking into the chutes. Long left-hander here, where you can't put down the throttle too early, otherwise it puts you into the wall on the outside. Now into the toe. Yes, the toe of the boot section here. Another long corner that just seems to go on forever, but you put your foot down and power it up the hill. And over the crest we'll go. We'll head into, yeah, you guessed it, the heel of the boot. Very slow corner here. 2nd gear for Ben McCluskey. Back on the power as soon as he hits the apex. Up this steep hill into the next corner. I haven't got a name over on my map here. Oh, a little bit of a correction there. The car just lost shape there. But the Mustang also a very, very nice sounding car as well. It's the final corners 10 and 11. Down to third gear. Now that corner, that final corner, we might see a bit of difference between the drivers.